Mr. Harris here, and welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about mass number. Okay, in the previous video, we learned about what is atomic number. Atomic number is basically the number of protons or the number of electrons. Now, what is mass number? Now, mass number refers to the sum meaning addition, when you're adding two things together, of the number of protons and the neutrons in the atom. Now, what does that mean? Now, let's see an example here. Helium. In the previous video, we also used helium as an example. At the center of the nucleus, here, we have the nucleus here. How many protons are there? Yes, there are 1, 2. The positively charged ones are the protons. There are 2 protons in the nucleus. How about the number of neutrons? Maybe I'll use green for the number of neutrons. This gray one is, there's 1 neutron and there's another neutron. There are 2 neutrons. Okay, maybe I'll use, and we know neutrons, they are having no charge. That's why you don't see any charge on it. Now, there are 2 protons and 2 neutrons in the nucleus. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to add them up together. So there were 2 neutrons plus by the 2 protons that you originally had. Let me get back that color. So 2 plus 2, simple math, you should know 2 plus 2 is 4. Yep, so the mass number in this case would be 4. Okay, or just like for atomic number, you could also use, if you're not given the number of protons, you can use the number of electrons instead. Okay, so if, for example, you're not given the number of protons, let's say this is electrons. I'm going to cross out the protons and write electrons. How many electrons are there for helium? Remember, the number of protons would always equal to the number of electrons in an atom of the element. So here there's also 1, 2. There are also 2 electrons. So here this also fulfills this criteria of 2 electrons being added to 2 neutrons, and you'll get the mass number of 4. Okay. Let's see another example. Carbon here. Now there again, the positive charge is missing. I'll add that back. Now, again, let's count the number of protons and the number of neutrons. They're at the nucleus. Protons here, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 protons. How about neutrons? Let me grab a different color. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 protons and 6 neutrons. And remember, because it's the sum, so you add these two numbers together, you get the mass number is 12. Or if, as I mentioned, if you do not want to use the number of protons, you want to use the number of electrons, you can also count there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 electrons as well. 6 plus 6, you also get 12. The mass number is 12. Okay? So now, to summarize, the mass number is equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons, or please also add this to your book. The mass number could also be equal to the number of electrons plus the number of neutrons. Okay, and then now let's do some questions. Now we have learned about atomic number, mass number, number of protons, electrons. Let's do some questions now. So here you're given some of the number of protons, neutrons, electrons, and you're asked to find them out. And you're given the element names on the left here. So the first one, the number of protons of nitrogen is 7. You're asked to find the number of neutrons and the atomic number. So the atomic number, what is the atomic number again? It is either the number of protons or it is the number of electrons. I'll write it up here. Okay, So here, what's the number of protons or what's the number of electrons? So you can see it's clearly there are 7 protons, so the atomic number is 7. Or you can look at the number of electrons, it's 7, that's why the atomic number is 7. Okay, now mass number. What is mass number? It is the sum of the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So here, so I'm going to write P, which means proton, plus N, which is neutron. Or it is the number of electrons plus the number of neutrons. Okay, for electron, I'm going to write E, and you'll see that I wrote a negative on the top. So that's a way to represent electrons, which you will learn more about in chemistry, in senior form chemistry. But for now, we'll just refer to that. Now, mass number, it is protons plus neutrons. But this time you're given the mass number. So how can you get the number of neutrons? So to do the simple math, you get the mass number is equal to proton plus neutron. And if the mass number is 14, you're asked to find the proton, and the neutron is 7. So obviously, then you can just move it to the other side, or you can clearly see that the protons would also be 7. So here I'm going to write, sorry, the neutron should be 7. I wrote it the other side. Proton is 7 up here. So the number of neutrons would be 7. 7 here, okay? How about sodium? The number of electrons for sodium, remember the number of electrons is the same as the number of protons. So I'll write it up here. The number of electrons is same as number of protons, and vice versa. The number of protons would be the same as number of electrons. Okay. So if I have 11 protons here, then electrons would also be the same. That is 11. Perfect. And how about the atomic number? Atomic number is either the number of electrons or protons, so this would also be 7. And how about the mass number? The last one, the mass number. Mass number is proton plus neutron. So you can just add these two together. 11 plus 12, you'll see it is 23. There you go. Okay, now let's do potassium up here. Potassium, you're given the neutron and you're given the mass number is 39. So mass number is equal to the protons plus neutron. Let's come up here to the top. Let's use this equation and find the number of protons. So mass number we're given is 39 for potassium. And the number of neutron it's given is 20. So what is the number of protons then? Then you can do the math. You'll get 39 minus 20 is 19. So the number of protons here is 19. And because the number of protons is the same as the number of electrons, that is also 19. And also, it'll be the same for the atomic number because atomic number is having the same number of electrons or protons. Okay. And finally, the last one, calcium. Calcium, again, we are given the number of protons, so I can directly find the number of electrons because it's the same, which is 20. And also, because the atomic number is either the proton number or the electron number, so it's also 20. And how about the mass number? So we can do this question again on the top up here. The mass number they're provided to us, which is 40. I'll write it up here, 40. And we're given the proton number is 20. We're asked to find the neutron. So simple. This 40 minus 20, this is also 20. So here, I get the answer is 20. Okay? So here, this is how we find the number of protons, neutrons, electrons, atomic number, and mass number using these formulas that I've written up here. So please be familiar with them. I'll see this a wrap for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.